Okay, so today we're going to be doing an oil change on the 2016 Subaru Crosstrek. It's a pretty easy task to get done if you have the tools and all the stuff you need. So first off, I already got mine on the ramps. I kind of like these a little bit better than the jack and the jack stands because you just roll it on up and you're done. You don't have to like crank the thing up and put the stands underneath it. It's pretty simple. Makes the job a little bit easier. I also have chocks on the back of the tires and make sure it doesn't roll off, and remember to have the emergency brake set. So here are all the things that you're going to need to get this job done. You're going to need, first off, 5 quarts. It's a little bit more than 5 quarts. It's 5.1, I think, but you could check the manual to be exact. But right here I have 5 quarts of Mobil 1 0W20. I have a K&N filter. This is the HP 1010, and I kind of like this style filter better because it has a little nut on there. Just in case it gets stuck, you have something a little bit extra to wiggle it off. It also has really good performance, apparently. You're going to need some 17mm wrenches. You're just going to need one. I have both of these out here so you can see you could use either this style wrench or you could use the socket wrench. You're going to need an oil drain pan, some nitrile gloves, a pair of nitrile gloves, and some safety goggles. So you don't want to have some rocks or something like that fall in your eyes while you're underneath there. Also, beer, any type is good. I prefer IPA, but whatever you pick, that will work just fine. Another thing to note is you probably want to get the car a little bit warmed up. Inside the car, when you turn it on, you'll typically see a little blue light. That blue light means that the engine is cold and you want to drive it around the block a few times or go get groceries or something like that until that light turns off, and that means you're okay to do your oil change. So let me get this safety gear on and we will get started. First things first, you're going to want to open up the dipstick so you could let some air flow and the oil could drain out properly. You also want to do the same thing with the oil cap. Other thing to note, this is your oil filter right here. It used to be underneath the car and you'd have to reach into the between the exhaust manifold, but they moved it up here so it's easier to access. So let's go underneath the car and I'll show you where the drain plug is and we can take that out. As you can see, I already got the drain pan down here and I have it lined up. The plug is going to be right back here in this hole, and you can see it right here. I already loosened it up, so then all I have to do is just unscrew it and it should fall out, and hopefully I'll get oil all over the place. Okay, so while that's underneath there draining out the oil, there's a little bit of a stream coming down. You can't really see it, but it's right there coming down. While that's all draining out, we want to go ahead and remove the oil filter right here. And typically you should be able to do this by hand, but if it's on too tight, then you could get a tool for that. There's a little plastic cup thing that goes on it and whatnot, or a strap kind of thing. But yeah, as soon as you open this up, there should be some more oil that falls down through the drain pan. Okay, so I was able to take that off by hand. Took 2 hands, but it came off pretty relatively easy. So just unscrew that, and then I just once I get it off, I'll kind of let it drain there for a bit because there's some oil inside there. Actually, it's not that bad. I guess it drained all the way by now. So, go ahead and plop that into the pan right here, and this appears to be almost done. So, after this, we're going to put the drain plug on and pop in a new filter and add oil. Okay, so I got the drain plug cleaned up here, and I just wanted to show you guys something a little bit extra. This little ring that's on here is called a crush washer, and typically you're supposed to replace those. Most people don't, so if you don't have one, it should be okay. But you could get those at your dealership, and they'll get you the right size and everything like that. And you'll just have to like pop that off with a screwdriver because it's on there a little bit tight. And just put on a new one, and then you'll put it back into the oil pan. Okay, so we're back under the car, and while we're cleaning all that out, the bolt and everything, the oil seemed to have stopped dripping. You can see it kind of gets all over the place, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in. Try and get that to focus for you guys. There we go. So you're just going to screw that back in. And I think it's about, I can't remember, it's just a few pounds of torque on there to tighten it. You don't want it to be on there too tight, so it's going to be hard to take off later on. Okay, so I'm going to tighten that, and we're going to add in a new filter and add oil. Okay, now that we got the drain plug in, we could go ahead and apply the oil filter. Before we do that though, we want to slightly oil or grease up the top of the rubber gasket that's on here, so then it doesn't stick with the heat and it doesn't cause the rubber to get stuck on there. So you just apply some of that on there. That should be good. And we could go ahead and put this on here. And so you're just going to need it to be about hand tight, plus probably about a quarter turn. About like that should be good. It's a little bit greasy because I had oil on there to grease up the gasket, but that should be about good. You could probably see on here it's kind of hard, but this is the nut that I was talking about. So if you ever have a hard time, you could just put on a socket right there and turn it off. Something else to note is this little hole for racing applications. I guess they put like a piece of wire or something like that, a cable through it, tied on, so if it ever falls off, it doesn't go flying around on a racetrack. Not that you're taking your Subaru on a racetrack. One other thing that I did forget to mention that we do need for adding oil is a funnel. Whoops, I accidentally hit the stop record button. But yeah, you're going to need an oil filter. You could get paper ones at the AutoZone or O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto Parts, wherever you go to get your stuff. And you're just going to plop that in there, and you are going to add oil. Okay, so now that we got the oil added, we could put the oil cap back on, reinsert our dipstick, and you could turn on the car, run it for a bit, and then check the dipstick to make sure that it's at the correct level. There's two lines, and wherever you see the oil at on there, you know if it's full, empty, if you need to add more, etc., etc. But thanks for watching. If I've missed something and something wasn't exactly clear, there's plenty of videos on this on YouTube. You could also check out the 2015 version, and that's pretty much exactly the same thing as the 2016. So yeah, thanks for watching.